Hey guys, and welcome back to this Let's Play. If you haven't followed me on Tumblr, you might not understand why things look so different. The reason why is because last Saturday I recorded a good 2-hour Let's Play, and it was probably one of my best Let's Plays, and then, I hate talking about this, then it turns out the game audio didn't record at all, and Transistor saves over its file, so I couldn't get any of that back. So I played the game all the way up to where we are now, so some things may look a tad bit different. So I'm just going to go through all of the functions, so that way you can see where we are right now on where all of our function files are. Sorry. So yeah. So inspect function. So first off, we have red. Age 27, gender F, selections, music, linguistics, reason cited, decline, trace status, inact. Background. Ranked in the top percentile of CloudBank's contemporary performing artists for 5 years, Red demonstrated early interest in music despite studying at Traverson Hall. Traverson groomed many of the city's most ambitious civic planners, though Red spent the majority of her time developing the Academy's nascent art program, and was the first on record to select 2 non-traditional disciplines. Records indicate she was reluctant to explain, citing personal reasons. She remained reticent even after gaining the spotlight, and when asked about her past and influences, would often say her work spoke for itself. She did admit, however, that she never wrote her music with intent to stir controversy. Career. To appreciate the impact of Red's music, consider first the current state of CloudBank's social climate and how it evolved over the past 2 decades. When an altercation finally erupted in the crowd during one of her performances, it was the first such incident in 4 years. It escalated to the point where administrators were summoned to the scene. As one of the suspects was banned from the premises, he accused Red of being an instigator and provocateur. Red later stated it was in this moment that she fully understood the potent effect her music had on people. She decided to take certain precautions from that point, receding from the spotlight to compose new material in relative privacy. Rumors swirled. Then once she finally re-emerged, trouble followed. Breach. Subject not found. Oh, function derived from contact with subject. Trace data encrypted in function. Wait, then what does Red say? Function derived from contact with subject, trace data encrypted in function. Oh, okay, so it just says the same thing. Never mind. So age, blank, gender, I don't know. Selections declined, reason cited, still figuring things out. Trace status non-recoverable. Background, errors. Subject background data corrupted during integration. Reason unknown. Exceptions. Recovered data indicates subject had no selections on record. There is a remote possibility, less than 5%, that this information is inaccurate due to data corruption. In the more likely event that the information is valid, subject, by definition, cannot be matched with census data, as 0% of CloudBank willingly chose non-selection. Disappearance. Timestamp on subject's integration coincides with timestamp of previous authenticated user relinquishing access and control. Although subject's trace data was corrupted during integration, nonetheless, such data has its uses and consequently derived a suitable function. Subject's trace data remains disjointed and cannot be recovered. It's just, still recording. Good. Lillian Platt, age 33, gender F, selections, physics, negotiation, reasons cited, problem solving, trace status integrated. Background. One of the preeminent scientific minds in CloudBank, Miss Lillian Platt was the youngest ever individual to be elected as chairwoman of the OVC board. Under her leadership, the number of OVC terminals in CloudBank more than doubled, and the quality of the broadcast strength more than fourfold. However, she then became the youngest ever individual to leave the post as she tendered a resignation in less than 2 years to pursue extracurricular interests. In private conversations, several of her former colleagues indicated that Miss Platt left following the sudden disappearance of a close personal friend, Mr. Maximus Darcy, who, according to official OVC transcripts, decided one day to move to the country. Preston Moyle, age 29, gender M, selections, reflexes, machinery. Reason cited, I want to go fast and go far. Trace status integrated. Background. CloudBank's racing circuit never knew the likes of Preston Moyle, who shattered speed records with a Blom for 4 years straight. Credited with popularizing the sport of 200 CC Racing, Mr. Moyle gained celebrity not merely for his exceptional riding ability, but also because he built his motorbikes with his own hands. Ever the thrill seeker, Mr. Moyle became known for seeking out Cloudbank's remotest strips of road. Then one day, Mr. Moyle was altogether gone, having left all his personal effects behind, save for his fastest bike. Here we go. Naila Chen, background. Oh, wait, sorry. Age 34, gender F, selections, empathy, politics, reason cited, everyone deserves the best, trace status integrated. Background. One would have difficulty finding a more active or outspoken member of the community of Cloudbank's Goldwalk district as Miss Naila Chen. She allotted more than 66% of her available time on activities such as passing ordinances to improve underdeveloped regions, reaching out to and educating habitual non-voters, or advocating for groups lacking adequate representation. Her motives were her motives were rarely questioned, as her love for the district was in fact sincere, stemming from positive early experiences that grew to become fierce nostalgia. Miss Chen did have her detractors, however, and this became very clear at the opening she arranged for the Goldwalk channel. The channel. The channel was to be a gallery space of sorts, designed to showcase electric works from those pursuing non-standard vocations that traditionally held little share. Instead, Miss Chen found herself accused of stirring unrest by calling attention to meritless perspectives undeserving of notice. The group accosted her was angry for 17 different reasons in total, including how the channel edged out a competing vote for a metro station that would have bridged the gap from Goldwalk to neighboring high-rise in one short ride. Miss Chen publicly lost her composure in this particular incident, which would have escalated further if not for several individuals who stood in her defense. They later offered their support with any matters in the future. She agreed to meet with them, not realizing who they were. Wave Tennigan. Age 40, gender M, selections, awareness, debate, reason cited, big ideas, that's why. Trace status integrated. Background. Mr. Wave Tennigan traded the quiet life of a sanctuary vicar to become one of Cloudbank's biggest alternative broadcast personalities for his distinct blend of good-natured mannerisms and incisive social commentary. Straddling the generational boundary between the old guard and the new, Mr. Tennigan offered a canny perspective on the many factors influencing the city's evolution. But during one of his many meet-and-greet events with his listeners, he met a group of individuals who would forever change the course of his life. Sybil Rice. Age 30, gender F, selection, supervision, organization, reason cited, I love people, trace status integrated. Background. Known in elite social circles throughout Cloudbank, Miss Sybil Rice organized many of the city's popular public events, from groundbreaking ceremonies to contemporary festivals. She was everywhere, and yet somehow she made time to lead a second hidden life. As one of the camerata, Miss Rez was responsible for gathering information about potential high-value targets, people who could contribute to their cause. She did this to perfection, drawing no notice, though one target in particular caused her much frustration. Shomar Shazberg, age 29, gender M, selections, trickery, comedy, reason cited, everyone wears a mask, right? Trace status integrated. Background. Considered the most elusive entertainer in Cloudbank by 12% of the population, Mr. Shomar Shazberg earned his reputation through numerous absurd public pranks and other daring or ill-advised feats. Thus he earned the nickname The Magician from his many thousands of fans and enjoyed executing highly unusual, unscheduled performances in Cloudbank's most bustling neighborhoods. His acts grew more ambitious over time, accumulating in his promise to skydrop into a restricted region of Goldwalk and walk right out, escaping administrative detection. Gaps. Bailey Gande, age 32, gender X, selections, acquisition, statistics, reason cited to shape the present and the past, trace status integrated. Background. Miss Bailey Galande was never one to follow the pack. Due to a variety of social changes she experienced early on, she grew to care much more about the past than about the future. While this preoccupation of hers at first made her reclusive as a person, in time it flourished as an invaluable skill, which put her in the forefront of a movement to fundamentally rework the city's outdated and incomplete archival system. Sorry, man, I just can't read today. Then one day, Miss Galande received a message from her local admin Brand, extending her a pre-approved opportunity to be head of the city archives. She accepted on the spot. Hunter Jalaford, Age 49, gender M, selections, psychology, deduction. Reason cited, I believe the future can be parsed. Trace status integrated. Background. How many cases must one crack to become the most highly decorated detective in the 18th precinct? Even this, Officer Hunter Jelliford knew ahead of time, although he never acted prideful about it. Of course, Officer Jelliford was no mere detective, he was a forecaster. This was one of the rarest and least understood professions in Cloudbank, though the results spoke for themselves. Officer Jelliford possessed an almost uncanny ability to solve any mystery that blew into town. So it was that he became very interested in the reason why Central Administration quietly decided to take down the northwestern edge of the Goldwalk District until further notice. Investigation. Officially speaking, Officer Jelliford could only do so much until the administration provided sufficient clearance for his own safety. But one of the side effects of Officer Jelliford's talents as a forecaster was his insatiable desire to confirm his hypothesis. So he decided to move forward with his investigation, sensing significant trouble and not wanting to sit idly by rather than do his job. What he discovered in Goldwalk shook Officer Jelliford to the core. He had never seen anything like it, and his hand shook as he prepared to report on the spot. But he ceased transcription when several individuals approached him. He did not expect them either. Disappearance. The Camerata knew Officer Jelliford posed a significant threat, as he was one of the many detectives stubborn or determined enough to refuse to accept the administration's non-committal answer about what was going on in Goldwalk. After considering several ideas that might draw the officer out, the Camerata realized they needed only to be patient with him. After all, a forecaster could only predict what was already planned. After Officer Jelliford vanished, the 18th Precinct fabricated a plausible explanation for the public. The officer was approaching retirement age, and together they agreed to name a quarter of his home district in his honor. And then the last one. Maximus Darcy, age 31, gender M, selections, design, aesthetics, reason cited, pursuit of beauty, trace status integrated. And we have nothing for Darcy right now. So that's all of the things. Now with the limiters. Designation bad cell, roll to be recycled, features pellet blast or burst shockwave, vulnerabilities unarmored frame, cannot detect cover, preferences cool dark places, early termination. Designation jerk, roll paver, features piston flatteners, overdrive system, grapple shot, some versions, vulnerabilities not available, preferences pulverizing, absorption. And then designation young lady, role supervisor, features fragmentation beam, cell incubator, self-copy systems, vulnerabilities, high yield functions, preferences, constant noises, people. Most embarrassing, though I must admit I can't explain this one's rather conspicuous appearance, specifically its resemblance to the body of a woman. Now, mathematically, there's a chance that this is coincidental. There's always a chance, but I find that hard to believe. And rather, I suspect the process is taking a bit of a liking to us. Started taking on some of our quirks, like how one might subconsciously assume the mannerisms of a friend. At any rate, this one is very unusual, very much so, and rather temperamental too. So I've yet to gain a sense of all her intricacies. Royce. And then designation weed. Role supplier, features restorative aura, defensive aura. Vulnerabilities immobile, cannot self-restore. Preferences burrowing, sterile ground. So that's all the limiters we have. And now let's continue on with this Let's Play.